Give me your top 5 alive.
You can't take Cole out because of that, man. He looks like a genius now.
No, I know. He's looking good now.
Give me your top 5 alive.
Okay. So Kendrick, Cole, Jay, Nas.
We got to do orders. There's no particular order.
There's no particular order.
I'm giving Wayne 5.
Okay. So Eminem's not in there.
No.
Are you white shaming? What's that?
No. Not at all. He said he was impartial. I was trying to disprove his point because he has the Eminem shoes on.
He just likes the shoes, man. Come on.
Just threes.
It was an angle. I was working an angle.
Is M top 10?
Oh.
Is M top 10?
M's top 10. Yeah. I got it.
I was working an angle. At least I'm honest about it.
Who's your 5?
Dylon.
Dot, Pac. Dylon, Cube. Dylon.
Yeah. Drake is probably in there if I'm just talking favorite, but when we talk about all of the intricacies of lyricism and ghostwriters, I do take him out. But
clap it up. Energy. Let's go. Let's get it. Yeah, I'm Elliott Wilson, man. Welcome to the bigger picture. It's time for a hip-hop debate show. I got some great people here to make this thing happen. My man Jeremy Hecht from Hip Hop DX. Had to invite my guy DJ Hev, Mr. West Coast himself, because the talk of the town, as we all know, is this battle going on between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. I can't believe in the year of 2024 I'm saying that. There's an active, super active Drake and Kendrick Lamar battle going on. And I think a lot of people want to know what I think about it, want to know what we think about it. There's a lot of stuff I want to know that maybe DJ Head knows about what's going on. But I'll start by saying that I think that, man, this is exciting, man. I've liked every song that has come out from both sides. I can't believe it's lived up to the hype. You know, how many years later since the Control controversy and all that. And I think Kendrick is in the clear lead right now. I think that his ability to step on Drake's moment with Family Matters by putting Meet the Grams out and then taking us with that bop, man, that DJ Mustard bop, that record is amazing. So I think Kendrick's in the clear lead. I'm curious, do we think it's over? Does it continue on? You know, just want to have a conversation about it, man. Hip-hop.
I think before we start, we got to acknowledge how, while this moment is in particular with us three sitting here, because in 2022, if we have the clip of it, I asked you on a red carpet.
But show the clip. We can show the clip,
yeah,
right?
We'll play the clip.
It's a little history, man.
Okay, so this.
Summer Jam, Kendrick was headlining, and he did King Kunta. And the rapper with a ghostwriter, what happened? That was a jab at Drake. So he's on stage, he sees me in the crowd, he goes, yo, Elliott. He walks to the side, says, a rapper with a ghostwriter.
Elliott, but a rapper with a ghostwriter. What the f happened, nigga?
And then I thought they was really gonna go at it. And then a month or two later, that's when Meek stepped out.
And it sparked a little bit more, so let's continue to spark the beef. Do you think we're ever going to hear an on-record real drop from either Kendrick or Drake where the other side will have to reply?
I'll put it to you like this. Drake would have to say something first. If you're paying attention, there's a lot of bars.
Yeah.
That be, you know, you really gotta like.
I think he took shots on his last album where he said, when everything is put to rest and all that talk about the best and it's you alone with your regrets, something like that. I think that might have been a sub.
When everything is put to rest and everybody takes a breath and everything gets addressed, it's you alone with your regrets. All that pumping up your chest, all that talk about the best. You know how sticky it gets.
Are you forgetting about Family Ties?
Family Ties was all yeah, that was, I'm killing everybody that's outside.
Smoking on your
Top 5?
Smoking on top 5.
Top 5?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, there's bars back and forth every time.
When Kanye got back with Drake, I was slightly confused. Guess I'm not mature as I think. Got some healing to do.
When are we gonna get the beef?
Ain't no beef.
Okay.
It's too much business and respect for it to be beef. People understand it. I want you to really post this.
So that was 2022.
Is the business and respect out of the picture at this
Yeah.
point? Really?
100%. Because here's the thing, right? Greetings, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming here, West Coast man, Mr. DJ.
Give you a note real quick. If you ever want to talk directly to the audience, look right into that camera, and Elliott for you, that camera.
Gotcha.
Okay, got you.
So you could always talk to the white. So.
Got you.
You want to get an intro with DJ Head too, or you want to? No, just keep going.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you for having me. There was too much respect.
Oh, you saying too much respect?
There was not too much. There was respect. The respect has now depleted. You know, because you know, there's what's interesting is there are governance and things, right? There are authorities, right? You all are authorities in the culture, whether people like it or not, right? Same thing for me, right? So when you have authorities and things, and when you go outside, when you color outside the lines, that goes against the grain of the rules of combat, right? And so I think once the Canadian decided to make it personal, not you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I am Canadian.
Jeremy is in fact Canadian.
I am Canadian, but I'm living in LA. I'm a neutral force right now. Big Drake fan, big Kendrick fan. Let's go back.
But once the other Canadian made it personal, all bets are off. You know,
Well,
I think that it's been clear, you know, in front of the scenes and behind the scenes that like don't talk about certain things and that's gonna make it personal. It's gonna go to another level, right? So once those things have been said, you can't put that toothpaste back in the tube. And so now you're getting the result of that. And I've been trying to tell people to leave him alone. Just leave him alone.
Yeah, we knew he was the boogeyman, but we had never seen Kendrick Lamar in like this active battle. The fact that he's putting records out at this high clip, like it's the blog era, is insane. We can't even we're waking the academics' reactions and all that. It's like we're not used to K-Dot being outside and popping out. Like, why is he so? I guess because you're saying he's clearly was offended by something. So you're talking about family mention, or was it the Pac AI usage?
It wasn't the Pac AI thing.
It was just the name Whitney.
It was definitely the family thing. Like that's not something that he plays with. That's not something that is really taken lightly. You know where we come from. You know, so once that goes there, then it's like okay, it is what it is. And I heard that you know your boy brought up.
He said my boy because I'm wearing a scorpion.
Yeah, Elliott's in full garb at the moment.
It's a tough time for Mr. Graham right now.
You got,
trying to balance
you know
things.
what's interesting? It says Scorpion on your jacket, right? And it says executive produced by Noah 40. I don't know how to say his last name. No disrespect. And Oliver. I don't want to say that name either, right? And I don't see your name on it though, Elliott.
I'm not executive producer on the album. Okay?
And then. So I don't. So what's the representation?
I'll tell you the representation. I feel like this was the time when Drake was in his most active battle, the last battle, which was the Pusha T battle.
Correct.
And if we all remember, he stepped out of that battle after the story of Adidon. Very personal story. He didn't respond. He said Jay Prince told him to stand down. But Scorpion still did come out, and the record was huge, successful, ran the summer. You know, even though in the hip hop circles he took a L. By the summer, we're all Kiki, do you love me? And he's leaning into the pop side, right? Because he balances both. He's a huge pop star, but he wants to be the leader of hip hop. And he tries to balance both things. And I think that sometimes that makes Kendrick and or Cole uncomfortable with that. But he does balance those things. So I'm representing that time. So the question to me is like, is he going to further keep engaging with Kendrick? Or is he going to do that pivot?
Like I said, bro. And you know, I know there were phone calls made, and I'm a nobody according to the internet. But just go make your songs, bro. Just go make your bops.
Yeah.
We gonna play them in the clubs. The girls gonna dance. They gonna wave. Just go make your songs. Just leave this alone.
But how did we get here? Because obviously the Control verse was the first thing that caught. These guys were cool, right? Right. He took them on tour. You know, Drake did a great job of embracing his peers, right? He did the Jay-Z move. Drake 100%. And friends, right? Yeah. Club Paradise. Drake. Me and all my buddies. I'm up. Let's all go on tour together, right? And Kendrick and A$AP did one leg of it. I think Cole and Meek did another leg of it. It was all love.
Beautiful time.
So what happens then? So does the Control verse, in your judgment, offend Drake to the point that they've never been cool since then?
I think that, I don't know if it was necessarily Control verse, but there's always been this friendly competition. Like, it's competition, right? It's just
to be the best in hip-hop.
And I think what gets taken lightly because of the inconsistency that people would put, the inconsistency jacket that people would put on Dot as far as his drop frequency, they look at it like, oh, he goes away for 4 years. It's, yes, that there's a layer of truth to that, right? But I think people misconstrue that as weakness. They take that like, oh, we can say whatever we want to say. There's been bars, like don't act like this.
Subliminals, a lot of subliminals.
There's been bars and
both
things
of them,
on both sides, right? Cool, we all know that. I think there's a disappointment that goes with it too, and I'm not speaking for anybody but myself at this point. I think there's a disappointment that goes to when the discovery of people coming up with records for you. I think there's a disappointment level because we've all had, for instance, I've met people who have met their hero, right? Whether it's Elliott Wilson, whether it be a basketball player, and they were let down for whatever the interaction was.
Elliott Wilson is going through that himself.
You know what I'm saying? Jeremy might have the same story where they tell you don't meet your heroes, right?
Yeah.
So when you grow up looking at certain things, I've had this conversation with my big homie Glasses, right? G Malone, shout out to Glasses.
Shout out Glasses.
When you meet certain people and they're not who you thought they were, there's a level of discomfort and disappointment that comes with that, right? So if you're coming in this thinking I'm gonna be an elite MC and I'm gonna play for Legacy the whole time, Dot's been playing for Legacy since the beginning.
Yeah.
He changed his name on our show on Homegrown Radio. It was K-Dot. He came on our show and changed his name on an internet show that we had in Chuck Dill's apartment. That's a fact. Wow. When he changed his name from K-Dot to Kendrick, it's on YouTube. When he changed his name from K-Dot to Kendrick Lamar, right? Everybody in the room knew that there was a shift. And at that point, he was playing for Legacy. You don't get the loosies. Like, you got, 3-4 looseleys in 1 week.
Yeah.
Right? It's never been a thing.
No.
That's never been
Not even really in the blog era, right?
No.
Yeah.
Because that's not even the business model that Top even set up.
Yeah.
You don't get random Ab Soul records. You don't get random Schoolboy Q records. Every record is attached to a project or a movement or an album or a soundtrack, or it's purpose behind it, right? So this is the first time you're seeing Dot participate in the culture like this, which we was talking about earlier with Salas, right?
Yeah.
And it's shocking to people.
Absolutely.
But what I want people to understand is don't think that because someone doesn't do something, they're incapable of doing it.
So he's tuned into the culture at all times.
At all times.
Got you.
All that off the grid shit, believe what you want to believe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We all follow his other account, right?
Yeah.
So he does have a phone. We can confirm Kendrick has a phone that he uses.
I'm not confirming nothing.
He told me Kendrick said hi to me yesterday. I'm like, did he say it in a nice way?
Yeah. What was the what up?
I said what up.
I talked to Dot yesterday. I told him I was coming to see Elliott, and he said, "Tell Elliott I said what up."
We can't duck Elliott's role in all this though, because I think
it's my fault.
I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm not putting blame.
Okay, so I know I could take us into the control era, right?
Let's,
and what that meant to run a website and the blog side of things, and like rapradar.com is up and running. And something about this control verse, right? Remember, this is a Big Sean record that was, and I think Flex played it first time, right? Right?
Yeah.
And this Big Sean record featuring Kendrick Lamar, featuring Jay Electronica. Because we got to tell people, I mean, the internet, there's a younger audience that doesn't even really understand. So basically in that song, as we know, Kendrick just called out his peers and saying, at the end of the day, I'm competing against y'all.
Competitive spirit.
I feel I'm better than y'all. And everybody went crazy. People were offended. The people that weren't even mentioned made records going back at Kendrick, and it just stirred up a lot of things. Kendrick was running around with a shout out to 40 Ounce Van. He was wearing the New York hat. He's running through the city. I saw him at that infamous party where Cole and Puffy got into the little dust up, and he came in there with the hat on. And it just shook the culture up that Kendrick was calling people out. And then at the same time, Drake drops Nothing Was the Same. So I'm interviewing him, a live interview, just like we're sitting here live for Crown, with my live interview series I did. And I really feel the tension from the crowd about this rivalry that's brewing between Kendrick and Drake. And they want me to ask him about the control verse.
Like someone yelled out Kendrick. It seems like nowadays people want to build Kendrick.
Nobody yelled out Kendrick. You just heard that in your head.
No, earlier.
When you go to sleep, you just hear somebody be like, Kendrick Lamar.
No, but here's what's funny about you and Kendrick Lamar. It's like people forget you had him on Take Care. You had him on Buried Alive. You talked about a meeting that you guys had where you kind of was schooling him on the game. And there's a great line about how he realized he's the same age as you, and it made him rude and impatient. So it's almost like it's very foreshadowing. You know, he ended up making a great record, Good Kid, Mad City. Just the connection.
Phenomenal album, by the way. Phenomenal album. Yeah, round of applause.
And then now he takes a competitive stance with a verse like Control. And then you said that, you know, he's not murdering you in any platform, but you know that's where that rivalry. That's where people want to try to build. That's if you want to try to build a rivalry. Like, what's your take on that? Do you feel like that they're trying to create a competition that he's not on your level because of your accomplishments? Like, do you feel like they're trying to hype this up and elevate it too much?
Nah, I feel like that's it. It's like, you know, he's he's the new guy to love, and of course, I mean, rightfully so. He's super talented, you know. But thank you. But he's but he's like, you know, he is the underdog that's extremely hungry. You know what I'm saying? And he's doing his thing really well. And that verse was, he's giving people like moments, you know, like that verse was a moment to talk about. Are you listening to it now at this point in time? Okay. And then, but it was real cool for like, you know, a couple weeks. But like, if I asked you, for example, like, how does that verse start?
No, do you remember?
No, and like,
No.
now mind you, it'll go on in Complex and Rap Radar, give it like verse of the millennium and all that shit or whatever. But like, I'm just saying, it's like, you know.
I literally could feel the energy, like 900 to 1,000 people. Like, when is he gonna ask him about Kendrick Control verse? Because that's all we're listening to right now. And then I asked him it, he answered it, and forever way he answered it. And yeah, it became a big moment that I was able to address it in that moment with him. So fast forward 2 years later, Summer Jam, as we showed that clip, he does King Kunta, and he hits in that song that a rapper with a ghostwriter, what the fuck happened? To your point that maybe you meet somebody and they disappoint you, right? And, you know, expose that. And to me, it wasn't as clear he was talking about Drake. And then a couple months later, Meek Mill jumped out and said, this guy uses help, he has ghostwriters, and that stirred their beef. So to me, it ducked the smoke of what could have been a Drake-Kendrick battle then. It became a Drake-Meek Mill battle. Is that fair to say, Head, at that time?
I mean, I'm not saying, I don't necessarily know. I don't speak on anything that, to me, aren't facts that I know personally.
Mm-hmm.
It's speculation, which is what we do in hip-hop, right? We speculate, we analyze.
It's because the rappers don't talk to us anymore, so.
Shout out to Jarret. They probably don't talk to you, right? But not like that. No disrespect. No disrespect. I talk to a lot of people, but
Yeah.
I'm just
do interviews anymore. So we're now.
Oh, got you.
We're more like in a reporter.
Got you. This reactionary.
Era. Reactionary world, internet world.
Yeah.
We have to theorize because artists don't do media the same way. They
Correct.
don't do these long form interviews. You know, they control their own narrative. So
Correct.
We're forced to.
Instagram Live.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. But I just think that when you. So here's the thing. It's a duality to it, right?
Yep.
So what you said about the King Kunta is one of my favorite Dot songs ever, right? Not because
it's an underrated record in this catalog.
It's completely underrated.
Yeah.
And also, like, people speaking of King Kunta, people speaking on To Pimp a Butterfly. I'm gonna leave that shit alone.
No, they have a narrative about it. I know what you're saying.
They have a narrative and they say it's boring and they say, but King Kunta is a high energy hit record.
No, but I equate that to Nas. I'm the oldest in the room, I believe, right? So, you know, Good Kid, Mad City is the Illmatic. It's like this incredible debut. This kid is special. He's lived up to the hype. He tells his story. It's a near perfect album. And then what do you do with your sophomore? You know, music business is all about your second album, the sophomore jinx, you know? Like, and he pivoted. It was written as very different than the Illmatic. And To Pimp a Butterfly is very different than A Good City. He was bold enough to make that type of record. So, of course, in real time, that record isn't as well received. You know, imagine if that record didn't have All Right as a single and like that sort of pivotal moment, and that took off his life of its own, have this huge single. That record probably would not get enough credit for what it is because it's so drastically different and grows in a different direction than we expected, you know?
Yeah.
And I think too, like, when you look at, so there's two things, right? And for me, coming from a music perspective, you've been in the game way longer than I have, right? But as on the music side of things, not the music business or the media side, but the music side of things.
Yeah. Sonics, sounds.
You could play one or two ways, right? You could play K art, which a lot of people do. Shout out to Killer Mike. You know what I'm saying? You could play it to the art, or you can go the other direction and go to the charts and the clubs and the, you know, there's that world, right? Which I'm a DJ by trade. I came up in the Little John era.
I saw you playing that K-Dot Mustard record yesterday. I saw you out there.
Yeah, I was at I'm a DJ by trade. You know what I'm saying? I don't just claim to be online. I'm actually a real DJ.
Yes, sir.
So anyway, that being said,
you available for bookings? What's
I see a hint of a potential shot there.
I don't take shots.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I don't drink. So I think, like, from a DJ's perspective, we want those records, which is what you got with that. You know what I'm saying? The Mustard record. You got that. The art, he gave you all of that stuff, right? Now it's time to play. So if you think about it, if you look at, like you said, Good Kid, Mad City, that's the Illmatic. Then you got To Pimp a Butterfly. That's the art, right? But then you come back and you give us a record like Damn.
It's a combination.
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 You know what I'm saying? And so I think people aren't paying attention, not even just to the legacy, but everything that Dot does is very intentional. Yeah. It's nothing by chance. You don't randomly. It's almost like he moves like the Carters a little bit. You don't randomly see a picture of Beyonce. You don't just see a random picture of Beyonce. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but why do you think so? Drake finally does his record, the Family Matters record, right? He even shot a video. Why was Kendrick so quick to step on that moment?
I don't think that was the right van, by the way. But
I heard that. Yeah, was that the actual? I saw people say that. Our guy Timothy said that, pointed that out. Westside Timmy,
Tim Henshaw, but
formerly of Amazon.
I understand the symbolism behind it, but that was the first album, like.
So real quick, okay. Before we get into all of this, let's back up to First Person Shooter.
Okay.
Because I think that there's a lot of misconceptions about this song. There's a lot of theories about this song that you guys might know more than the audience.
I also think none of us thought that record was a dig at Dot or something that would offend Kendrick.
Right.
Cole and Drake running around being buddy-buddy. We had seen Drake be buddy-buddy at different times with everybody, right? Or Cole being buddy-buddy more so with everybody. So what do you think it was like? And then the idea that the accusation, the hearsay came out there like, well, he was asked to be on the record. And then Kendrick in one of the songs sort of informs that he was asked to be on the record. Why would he not do that record? And also my theory would be like, I don't necessarily think Drake asked him to be on the record. I could see Cole taking his temperature. Cole's idea to put them all together on some We Are the World shit.
J. Cole always trying to make peace with everything.
Reaching out to Dot and not taking the temperature and being like, and then they just moved on. Is that a fair assessment, you think, Hecht?
I think it's a fair assessment. I don't know for sure, and the source I don't necessarily trust who that came from, but that's a fair assessment. I think there's some validity to it just because of the way Cole's verse is on that record. You know what I mean?
But do you think Cole was taking shots on that record?
I don't think Cole was taking shots on the record. I think Cole is – I respect Cole. I think Cole is on some We Are the World type shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think Cole is on some you're not going to fuck with my chi at all. Like, my piece is not for sale. Yeah. You're not gonna move me in one way or the other. So I think Cole's intentions are pure. Yeah. I don't think that Cole has any ill intent whatsoever. I will say this, though. I'm from L.A., right? I'm from what we call the East Side. Mm-hmm. Where we from, you can't do something out of pocket and then apologize and then expect not to what we call a DP on the West Coast or in LA, right? And I know that's funny entendres online, but it's a real thing. And so I respect it, but you still put the record out. So I would still expect some fallout from that.
Yeah.
So on that.
Wait, so what exactly is, you said DP?
Yeah, it's a discipline. It's kind of gang terminology, but not. But it's street terminology, right? But it's more like.
So you have to stand on it no matter what. Once you put it out to the world.
If us three, we all represent hip hop, and we go to a country music fest, and Jeremy punches on a country music artist. When we come back to hip hop, we have to discipline him for that because he did something that would represent us all.
They might have just thought one of their own was punching him. They're like, oh, look at this white boy.
West Coast.
So is Kendrick more offended that Cole did 7 minute thing, or that he pulled it back? What's more offensive?
I don't know what Kendrick. I don't know. I can't speak for Kendrick. Well, I'm speaking for me.
Yes, sir.
I respect him for taking the fade, right? Yeah. I don't respect. It was lackluster. Like give me something. Like it was a lackluster fade, right? And he knew it. And when you listen to 7 Minute Drill, he doesn't believe what he's saying. Yeah. He knows that album's not bad. You know what I'm saying? He knows, like, the stuff he's saying, you can tell by the way he raps. Cole is one of the most elite rappers I've ever seen in my entire life.
Technical aspect.
Technical, right? Mm-hmm. So when you listen to Cole rap, he doesn't have a laid-back flow like he did on, like, KOD. KOD was him playing in the sandbox, right? Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
But then you got, like, Forest Hills Drive, when you hear him say, like GOMD. It's one of my favorite Cole songs ever, right? The conviction in his voice tells me everything I need to know. He really feels like that. When you listen to 7 Minute Drill, that's not the same Cole.
It's interesting, though. So because on first-person shooter, you talk about conviction. Cole had conviction when he said, not the 2, not the 3, I'm the UNO. He said, I'm the guy.
And Drake's letting him say he's number 1 on his record.
Which is interesting to me, and I wanted to get your guys' thoughts as to why Kendrick took this opportunity as the offensive towards Drake more than Cole. Even though Cole had shots on like that, why was it that Drake on this song sparked this battle? Whereas Cole was the one claiming 1. Drake said that little bar about being GOAT, but he was claiming Michael more than GOAT. He was just claiming, like, I'm the most successful. Why did that verse do it and sparkle like that?
I don't know. That surprised me. So when I heard him on like that, I think maybe just the optics of it, right? Like the Spider-Man meme thing, I guess. It's almost like you're excluding me out of this because you guys feel like it's all buddy-buddy, but it's still competitive. I think it's just a competitive spirit of hip-hop. And I think that that's also partly why Cole pulled out the song, because I think that, like, I hated the way people were critical of Cole. Like, I think Cole is still a killer. I think that his blind spot is, by his code of ethics, he has genuine love for Drake and for Kendrick and friendships with them. So I think he would shoot at anybody else. But something about those guys, and that he's really the one that only has a genuine friendship with each one of them, is why he kind of didn't feel good about it, like you said. And you could literally hear it in the art. And I think that was a disappointment even in himself. Like, I'm listening back to this. That's not my standard, right?
Correct.
Even he knows that, right? I'll give him smoke, though, because I felt like he shouldn't have did it the way he did it, of apologizing at his festival. I felt like that ruined the whole festival and bringing people. Like, I think he could have did it another way and just pulled the record and said why he pulled the record. I don't think he should have did the big platform and say this. And, I think he should have just, like, did it a different way. So
the apology has to be as loud as the disrespect.
I guess. But I don't think there was enough disrespect in this case, though. Like you said, I think it was
Just because it's whack doesn't mean it's not disrespect.
No, but I think it was fair because clearly, even though we hear like that Kendrick's verse, he's clearly kind of more going at Drake. He's still tapping Cole too, so he had a license to respond to that. I don't think he stepped out and dissed Kendrick first. He's responding to Kendrick dissing him on like that. So I think he had a license to do it.
No.
I think Cole had to reply if he wanted the title that he was claiming on first person shooter.
That's the thing. So he goes in. So we tease this guy. We say he doesn't do features, right? He doesn't have no features on his album. Like this is what he does. He's like, like Kendrick. He makes these albums that people love, but he has no guest features. Then he says F that. He changes his style, kind of the way K-Dot's popped out right now. And he guest verses on everything and murders every verse. And every verse is basically saying,
I'm the best.
I'm the baddest motherfucker with the microphone. I finally feel like I'm better than Drake or better than Kendrick. Like they could be bigger artists. Like Drake could be the bigger artist, and Kendrick could have the more classics and Grammys or whatever. But I'm just the nicest motherfucker on this mic. Like my bars, like
right now,
no
I'm
one
number
could
one.
fuck
He
with
was
me.
saying
Like
it.
I'm that guy with the bars, and I think he has that killer mentality to everybody. But when it came time to have that towards Drake and Kendrick, I don't think he could have it, and he showed that, which is crazy to me.
Which I think he basically was like, actually, I don't want. And I think everyone's looking at Cole differently now than they did when he first apologized, which is funny because you see the comments now are J. Cole sleeping peacefully at night.
Yeah.
J. Cole's resting. J. Cole did not want any part of this mess, and he has no personal secrets out there. Nobody knows anything more about Cole. He's just
I
chilling with his
don't like that
family.
side of it. I don't like that this kind of post Pusha T world where we gotta feel like, to me, I look at the Meet the Grams record, right? Like that record's greater to me if there's not a verse about a daughter, whether that's true or not, right? We know for a fact who his son is, his mother, his father, who he is. Like whether the daughter's true or not, I don't think we needed that salacious part of the song for that song to be effective.
It would have done enough if that verse wasn't there.
Why are you smiling? Tell
Okay,
me. What do you think? I don't want to rush ahead. We're going to go song by song, but I'm just to that point. What do you think?
Do receipts matter in beef, or is that this extra? Like, do we need proof of either of these
I'll say
accusations?
this. Let me ask you a question. When you go buy something, right?
He buys nothing.
I'm at the grocery store.
Buys nothing.
Whenever you buy anything,
Okay.
you know how if they ask you if you want a receipt?
They ask, and some people say no.
Okay. Even if you say no, there was a receipt generated.
It exists. And to your point, I think both claims made on both sides, Kendrick and Drake, require a receipt to be as effective as they were said on record.
Yeah.
I don't think those were the only things that mattered in those songs, and I don't think that takes away from what Kendrick did afterwards or in the rest of the song, because there's a lot that he said, and same with Drake. He made a lot of points and replied to a lot of things. But for those things to be effective, for Story of Adidon to be effective, we needed to see Drake's Kid after that. We needed to see the actual... I think so.
Why?
I think if there was never any.
I think it gave it power that was really the reveal and it really was true. Like, and then, I mean, that's just to say you can't match that. You can't match that moment. Like digging up dirt on people. It's never gonna hit that exact same way because of the way that came to. He basically announced to the world this guy has a child before he was able to announce to the world he has a child.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess if that's true, he did it again. So like, yo, do you think Pusha T's home like, yo, this is how it would have been if I could have kept going with this guy? Like Kendrick's kind of just
honestly,
executing a lot of what Pusha was.
He used his notepad.
He's doing a surgical summer that Pusha.
I don't think Pusha give a fuck. Honestly.
No, as a hip hop fan, he has to.
No.
Somewhat, though.
From rap, yeah. But as far as secrets and like all the espionage, he don't give a fuck. That's in my opinion. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
But there was a receipt generated every time you bought something, whether you took home the receipt or not.
So you standing on business that there is possibly a child in this situation.
I was talking about groceries.
Right. West
Coast.
Beyond the receipts, what do you guys think of just those two records against each other? The Meet the Grahams, Family Matters, back to back that same night, which is historic.
You beat Grahams because we wasn't able to enjoy Family Matters because Homeplay interrupted our celebration. Like,
well, what's interesting is, and I said this. I think I don't know if there's an X. Is it called an X? A tweet? I don't know what Elon is calling it.
Shout out to Elon.
Elon, we got to figure this shit out,
We're
bro.
still calling it Twitter, my
okay,
G.
so
tweets on Twitter.
But I forgot what I posted, but when that happened, it was like deflating an entire room of oxygen. It was just everything because there was a budget for that. You know what I mean? Like he went and had Chinese.
Yeah, shout out Dio. My guy Dio shot that. He shot the Rap Radar interview. This guy Dio that shoots all his stuff.
Well, shout out to him.
I love Dio.
Wasted your time. But shout out to you. You know, the whole lead up to everything, even like the hearse or whatever that was, and then them having Chinese food. I'm like, okay, this is theatric. This is what I actually wanted from him to begin with. I wanted him to be creative. He's not going to win a rap battle. He's not going to win a rap battle. I know you're going to quote me and put the little shit.
Okay.
So he's not going to win.
I'll address that in a second.
He's not going to win a rap battle.
Yes.
Okay? When it comes to the spirit of rap and hip-hop competition, he's not going to win that, which is why at the top of the program I said, go make your bops, bro. Go make your jams.
You never heard any of the AMs or the PM songs. You never heard any of those.
He's not going to win a rap battle against Kendrick Lamar.
We hadn't heard Kendrick be in an actual rap battle. Not saying he couldn't do it. We never heard him in it, right?
Correct.
We've heard Drake in battles before, and we know the side of Drake that we view as the rapper, the bars, and he could battle somebody, is the sort of AM, PM catalog that he has. I think part of why Drake is not winning this battle is because he continues to dismiss Kendrick and not act like he's a worthy opponent or that he's little broing him all the time. It's like he's still trying to treat him like he's like the kid he took on tour and won't view him as like this equally cerebral assassin that he is. And he's falling short doing that way. And like if you think about it, he hasn't even done a song yet that's directly bars going at Kendrick. He did songs where because to be fair, he does have the whole industry around him. He's got a lot of opponents. Future and Metro basically made the Fuck Drake album Volume 1, Fuck Drake album Volume 2. And we'll get to that in a minute. But it's like, so obviously it's easy to get distracted. I feel like Rocky caught the bars worse on that record than even Kendrick. He's doing the playful club Drake about I'm gonna make the hookah record that's kind of tapping at Kendrick, and not ever barring him up. He's yet to bar him up. So to say he couldn't bar him up or beat Kendrick in that, we don't even know yet because he's yet to do it.
Elliott.
That's our owner laughing and shit. We might have his show right here. He's laughing.
Elliott, listen to me, bro. The only time when it's fight or flight, right? It's fight or flight. If we are in imminent danger as a self-preservation person, right? You're going to try to save yourself by any means. If you haven't exercised those means to save yourself, do you in fact have those means? Do you have the capability of doing it?
Okay.
So I'm calling into question, based on what you just said, it's not that, oh, he's playful Drake, he's not taking him serious. He can't.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, I would interject. I would say, okay, let's just use the same.
You're interjecting. You're part of the show.
Yeah, same metaphor.
How do you
right?
feel?
Just about the whole thing.
No, that
Say
he
what
could-
you was
that
going
he
to say.
could map- that he
Say
could bar him up,
what
yeah.
you're going to say, bro.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's say you are in imminent danger, okay, and I have a weapon in my cabinet over there, but I don't feel that it's necessary to use that weapon yet. I'm gonna use what's around me right now, but I know I have it.
For real.
I do know I have it.
I get it.
So at some point, I can open up that gauge and go. Doesn't mean I don't have the weapon. We all know what Drake can do. We all know. We've seen him go on 5 a.m.
We've seen him
in
win a
Toronto.
rap battle.
We've seen him win against Common. We've seen him win against Meek. Time and time again, he has proved himself with his sword, with his pen.
He took Common out of competitive rapping, like as a career. He retired Common.
I'm not
Not
going to say
saying
anything.
Common should have been active, but he still was. Not Common. If he makes music, Common makes like alternative rap
Yeah, he's
music.
doing poetry with
Poetry,
the NBA.
like, Common stopped being a competitive rapper the moment Stay Scheming hit the world.
So it's interesting. So, but my question is though, why hasn't Drake done
I'm not
that?
gonna
Is it
say,
because he's had to address so many other people? Is that why he hasn't done that time
Because I
stamp
think
record?
that's another, to go back to The Crown, even though that was a very long time ago, he tried to spin it like, you know, Kendrick's having his moment, blah, blah, blah. I look at Kanye as my bar of who I'm trying to eclipse, I think he's always viewed it that way. I think he's viewed Kanye as like the measuring stick of the standard, right? Of what he's trying to be big or big better than. And he won't allow himself to, he tries to me, and I don't think he's accurate in this, honestly. I don't think he's accurate, but I think unfortunately, he continues to dismiss Kendrick as if he's just more the critical darling. It's not the shit I would be listening to, a lot of it. He gets all the Grammys. He's the one you all love. He's the underdog. He's pure. You know, he's all the things that people don't want me to be. But very telling was the Game one when he did the 100 record. When he's like in Compton, whatever part of Cali he's in. I don't know. You tell me which part he was in, if he was official or not, how
was
he's moving.
Compton.
But he shot the Game 100 video in California. And it's like, I would have all your fans if I didn't go commercial. And that same parallel, like, look, we're owned by a guy who did Raucous Records. Like, that parallel of like, you all start from the underground, right? All these guys were underground rappers. They started from the underground. How successful do you want to be, and what terms do you want it on, right? Like, Kendrick's done a great job of keeping both things separate in a lot of ways, right? So what kind of pop star do you want to be? Drake's trying to be the hardest pop star and also still be hip-hop at the same time and be the leader of hip-hop, like a Jay-Z, that he's omnipresent. Like he told us in Rap Radar, I'm outside. You know my boys. You see me everywhere. I'm in this city. I'm in that city. I'm at the strip club. He wants to be the leader. And with that, carries a lot of weight. Well, you spawned a lot in this conversation.
I was just waiting for you to land and put your glasses back on and go back to the Daily Bugle because this is crazy. So, okay. The thing about it, right? I'm not saying that he doesn't have a weapon, right? And I'm not saying he's whack. Drake is immensely talented. Immensely. Drake has been the most dominant force, I would argue,
Ever, maybe.
in music in the last 15 years, right? 10 years, whatever you want to, however you want to slice it, wherever your starting point, pick a starting point.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck, right? Pick a starting point. He's been the most dominant force, cross genres, all of that, right? Not taking away from the Beehive, I don't want no smoke. What I'm saying is, I'm not discrediting him. I'm not saying he's incapable. I'm saying he is incapable, and I'm discrediting him against this person. That's it. One-to-one comparison. It's not.
It's easy to feel that way right now.
No. I don't care, Elliott. I jumped out there. First of all, I got drugged into this shit. I didn't get involved by choice. I got drugged into this, but I'm out here, front facing. Not when it was good. It wasn't good when I got drugged into this. It wasn't good at all.
Explain to the people how you ended up in the middle here.
I have a show coming.
Okay.
Okay.
Congrats on that, brother.
It's not, everything's not done. I have a show coming, and I'm dealing with the legalities of that. I said tomorrow's going to be a great day. I'm talking about DJ Head.
And where were we at in the battle at that point?
I have no idea. Everybody took that as, oh, dot is dropping. And I'm like, all right, let me erase the tweet. I erased the tweet. You know what I'm saying?
Classic mix-up.
Yeah, 'cause I'm like, oh, you think this ain't that? Like that's my homie, but that's not what this is. I'm excited about my life. This is when I thought my social account still belonged to me. So when I posted, I deleted it. They took that and ran with it. Your boy reported on it. I know Elliott loves academics. So
Shout out
Who
to
doesn't
Hecht.
love academics?
Shout out to Hecht.
Number one guy in hip hop media right now. Numero uno. UNO.
I have to give him that right now.
I'm loving to hear you give it up like that, Elliott.
I hate, it hurts me in my fucking soul. It hurts my heart.
Well, I'm glad you're honest
always
about
number
it.
one. I say it with your fucking gritted teeth.
You said what?
I'm the
now?
GOAT. The gritted teeth to say.
No, but you
somebody else
said
is
who's the number one?
Academics is number one. Hip hop media.
He has been the.
Joe Budden was before that for a very long time.
Okay.
I think Academics has become Act Center, where he's
I just
like,
wanted that documented so that way we can revisit this moment in history. It's like when hell froze over. When hell froze over the second time.
Okay, back to this.
You want that? Oh, yeah, please,
So anyway,
thank you, Jeremy. Anybody got a handkerchief?
So
Oh
look,
Lord, holy!
that's what happened,
Black
right?
would say,
I
holy.
deleted the tweet. It went everywhere. People took that as dot is dropping. I had nothing to do with that. I had no knowledge of it, right? So then that becomes. So now I'm in the middle of the street and I'm taking the fades, right, on the internet. So I'm like, oh, well, if you think, oh, you thought I was involved now, all right, watch this. So then I'm like, all right, well, here you go, boom. And then I remember when he was dropping Family Matters, right? I said, hey, he's dropping. Now, to be clear, and let me look at all you people on the internet and people trying to hack my Twitter right now. I'm not trying to be a leaker. That's not what I wasn't trying to do that
You're
when I was
not an LA
competing.
leaker?
Yeah, shout out.
I wasn't trying to do that when I was competing against the people of the same name when I was on LA radio. That's not my job. I'm not trying to leak anything.
Yeah.
I'm a participant in the culture and I have an opinion, and also may or may not have some information. I share it with the public because
You have a lot of information.
I may or may not
You're
have
a respected figure in this and have trusted colleagues in a network.
And I had some information like, oh, he decided to drop. Let me share this with the world. Just like when he was dropping the shit. What was the first one? I forgot all of his shit.
Push-ups?
Push-ups, right? When he was dropping push-ups, I got a birdie told me like, yo, you really pressured him into putting it on DSP because the only person on earth who had this record was Academics. Mm-hmm. Well, if this is your record, claim it. That's where I'm from. Where we from, we claim what we own.
Especially because the early mix came out and we didn't know if it was real, if it was AI. If you remember too.
It was a whole bunch of speculation. So
then he sent Academics the actual version, at least according to what was said.
And then I know for a fact that radio stations and stuff got serviced the record, and it was like, okay, this is real.
The next morning,
he still hadn't put it on DSPs.
But
so
for the record that you're talking about, so you tweeted it was the night before, right? The night before it actually came out.
Well, we're talking about two separate instances, but I want to go back to push-ups.
Okay, go back to push-ups.
Okay, so when push-ups happened, and then I got word that, yo, you really pressured him because it was a whole thing online, and he responded to something that Academics posted about me, and used me as they have nothing to have, or whatever he said.
Yeah,
right?
They have nothing to drop button.
It was, that was zesty. So, so when he said that, it was like, oh, well, I just want you to say it with your chest. Say it with your DSP. Duppy Free, and like I said, I responded to him. I said, Duppy Freestyle is up. It's on your SoundCloud. Back to back is everywhere. I played back to back on the radio for 2 years. You know what I mean? It's out. Why is this record only in the hands of this person? Put the record out.
Because he's number one guy in hip hop media? Academics?
No. This is okay, whatever. Put the record out. So he then followed up, and the next morning I got a message saying, you really pressured the boy to put the record out. I said, what do you mean? He said 20 minutes. So I said, oh, bet. So I go on Twitter and I say, oh, he's putting it out. It'll be out in 20 minutes. Now I'm in the street. You understand what I'm saying?
You're part of it now.
Now I'm in the street. So now it's like, okay, but that's never been my intention. I don't leak information. I'm not a circus clown. Like that's not what I'm trying to be. I don't want to be a part
You're
of
not trying to violate relationships that
Correct.
you have.
You know what I'm saying?
We know a ton of things off the record. You asked if it's going to be
I've told you things that I can't say publicly.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the point. The point I'm making is when you get information and you share it publicly, that doesn't make you a source or a leak or anything like that. It's just me sharing information. Now, I understand people take that as gospel. So then now fast forward to what you were talking about when I tweeted,
It was the night before the greatest night in hip hop. It was the night before these two songs dropped, and before 616 in LA. So did you have at that point a birdie that said he actually is dropping tonight?
He was dropping when I said he was. Oh look. Oh, y'all are crazy. I
hear the boys.
Yo,
that's say about receipts before.
So receipts are generated even if you don't have it.
Head, I have a question. How sincere is? I hope it's amazing. How sincere is that sentiment from you? Is that a sincere?
No, see, you're paying attention to the wrong thing.
Sincere sentiment?
See, this is how cerebral I am. You're paying attention to the wrong words on there.
Hit is the word you care about.
At being a journalist, Elliott, I would expect you to see that the caps lock button is on.
Oh, this boy lowercase is the big diss. That's how you dissing him? You dissing the boy by
with caps lock on.
He's six God.
Elliott Wilson,
how you are lowercase is six God.
Didn't you just say that you're the GOAT and all that? You couldn't see the caps lock button?
And did you notice on Meet the Grams, caps lock was off too on the Grams?
I hear
Euphoria is lowercase, right? If I recall.
I hear lowercase. The boy is dropping a hit, quote unquote, record tonight. I hope it's amazing. My sentiment was
why'd you lowercase the boy?
Yo no sé no habla inglés. So when I got the word, I said confirmed. Best of luck to you. I really want a competition. I really want it to be. I'm not as biased I am. It's not without nuance.
No, there's 10 records that came out. I love all 10 records. Like some are better than others, and I think Kendrick's winning the battle. But I love this. I think this is potentially the greatest battle in hip-hop history.
I still want
and I don't think it's going to stop. So what's wrong with you guys? Why is this not going to stop, man? I feel like he could drop a record right now. And then what happens, Head? Like, goddamn, was your guy going to stop? Does he feel he won yet? Is it over?
I can't speak for him, but based on the temperament, this is real. This is serious. He's taking this serious.
The question is there a way?
I don't think your boy is taking it serious.
That's what I said. I think that's to his
not
detriment.
Because, and this is what
you don't think you don't agree with me that he's being dismissive towards him.
No, I think he doesn't have the wherewithal to understand how serious this is. I used to think. I'm gonna be transparently honest, and I should not say this.
Okay.
And I don't mean any disrespect.
The bigger picture.
Because I don't know this man, and I don't know this man or his people or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I know, women around and whatnot, but
you might want to clarify which women you know.
I think that I used to believe I used to believe that he was a highly intelligent individual. Based on his strategic movement throughout, you have to move with intellect. There has to be a certain level of esteemed intellect that goes within dominating for a decade plus.
Yep.
Will we agree on that?
100%.
Okay. Credit. Not taking that away. However, in approaching this situation, one has to question one's intellect level. And I actually said this, just a private conversation, somebody else, but I'm questioning his intellect level because I'm looking at him more as a cunning, witty person and not necessarily applying intellect. To your point, what you said about him not doing this, and to your point, him saying not going in the drawer and pulling out the thing, it's not that I don't think he's not taking him serious. I don't think that he has the wherewithal to understand the intellect, to understand how serious this is and how serious this side is taking it.
Let's speak to that. Can we speak to what this idea of West Coast and people have said and speculated? It's like, you guys break my balls even now. I live in a pause.
Elliott has officially defected.
I did not defect. No, I did not. I'm still a New Yorker, native New Yorker.
I
don't even know how to drive. I walk everywhere. If you see me in Venice,
you still a New Yorker, Elliott?
Huh?
You still a New Yorker?
I think New Yorker.
How long you been in LA?
2019, before the pandemic.
How long was that? I'm bad at math.
Solid 5.
Solid 5. So you gonna do another 5 here or no?
Probably. I married a beautiful woman that is from originally the Bay Area and also lived in LA. So it was my destiny to probably live in the West Coast. I love the West Coast. I tweeted, I did the Joe Budden. I tweeted today. I was like, I listened to Kendrick's Bop all the way to the coffee spot in California this morning and all the way back to the crib.
It's fine. It's lovely here. Elliott, embrace it. We love it.
But I think that people still treat me like I'm a New Yorker.
You are a New Yorker.
Okay, so that's
until you defect on camera.
You can never defect. Come on, brother. Why would I defect?
Okay, then fine.
That'd be false flagging or something. Whatever.
It wouldn't be false flagging.
Yeah, I don't.
It wouldn't be false flagging. You can defect. You can say, party over here, fuck them
why
over
is there a need to deflect, and why is the West Coast feel so unified? Like I told people, like when I think Euphoria came out, because I walk a lot. I'm the weirdo that walks around because I don't drive. I literally had people. I didn't make this up. That people in their cars were like saying what up to me, all excited. The energy of like Kendrick put the song out. Kendrick, like the Philly energy in the city. Like what is it about this West Coast pride, unity, this spirit, this feeling? Like why do we feel like we're going? Why should Drake feel like he's going against a whole movement and not just going against Kendrick?
Well, I have a tweet that I put up, and I'm pretty sure y'all don't have this one, but when the initial thing, when he put out that record, and it had Snoop, AI voice, tailor made. I don't know the names.
That's what I'm here for.
Not like that. No disrespect. But when he put out that song and had the Snoop and the Pac AI on it, right? To me, it was inflammatory to me. I'm not speaking for anybody else.
That's what I thought. I think that's where he crossed the line.
It was inflammatory to me because
y'all.
Snoop literally is alive, right? Obviously, you're not going to get clearance for that, so that's why I went on his page or whatnot.
Absolutely.
Cool.
And the Pocket State is going to battle it, obviously.
And to me, that's the equivalent. That's it's a zesty move, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because now the idea is brilliant. Speaking from your predecessors and your OGs, saying how they are disappointed in you, brilliant. Yep. Executed poorly, right?
I think musically was executed
quite
well.
What was the poor execution?
Using AI to do that.
How else would he do it?
Just rap.
Or him rap from the perspective of the thing?
Just no.
Well, there is a version of that too.
It's funny though because the Pac tie to all of this is so heavy. If you look at the ring, right, that Drake bought, which Kendrick referenced and said, I should buy it back from you. We have the AI, which Kendrick obviously had to reply to. But then on the latest record, Not Like Us, Kendrick references Pac 2 or 3 different times. He said, you better not go to the Bay, and then he said, I'm going to send it up to Pac. Was that, do you guys think, a triggering point for Kendrick to be like, let me put my coast on my back again?
No. And again, I'm not speaking for him. I'm speaking for me. I'm telling you what happened. And I tweeted it out, and maybe y'all can find it. I said, attacking a coast, because that's not a coast. I said attacking a region. That's what I said. Attacking a region. Because to me, it wasn't inflammatory to me because he used a deceased Tupac. It wasn't inflammatory to me because he used Snoop. And Snoop is literally my big homie. He's literally alive at his house with his wife.
At his compound.
He's literally alive.
We're doing an ad right now for something.
He's literally alive. You know what I'm saying?
But he didn't seem to be offended by it.
I don't have a comment on that. But then the Dre type beat and stuff like that. And I don't have, and I don't own this, and I don't want to make it about me. But based on what was said to me, and different people have told me this, is they think that was a direct response to my involvement because I haven't just started saying West Coast. You've known me forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, you've known me. I just say West Coast. It means for sure, bet.
It's the way you end sentences.
It's the way I say it to my mother. You know what I'm saying? You be like, hey, you gonna be there? I'm be like, West Coast. It means amen, for sure, all right, okay, like whatever, right? I've been saying this for 10 years or whatever the case may be. Cool. But I think what happened is I think that somehow got misconstrued as a movement. And I was simply saying that's where, to me, the match got lit. Look at this. They got
Saying this with your chest will always be respected. Congrats on being forced to acknowledge something for the second beef in a row. And attacking a region is not the best strategy in this from a cultural perspective. But I wouldn't expect that wherewithal from you or your guy. You both appear as authentic type beats. Wait, who's you or your guy in this scenario?
It was all lowercase here.
There's a lot of lowercase there. Yeah.
You
gotta thank Elon. Elon gave you the platform to really just get your.
I'm a full Elon supporter, but that's not even. So that's what I was saying. That was the sentiment, right?
Yeah.
And it was inflammatory because, to me, it was more like a dig at our culture.
So that's why my
Snoop
theory
Pac and the
is
Dre type beat was a dig at cultural reference, in my opinion. This is just how I interpret it.
was trying to turn the whole history of the West Coast against him, in that Kendrick, you're failing us in disappointment, and trying to bait him into the battle, which was effective. And I think that even though you told me it's about family, I still believe that that's the move that backfired. Looking back at it, by doing that even more lit the fire in Kendrick of doing that.
It wasn't that, bro. It's really this what people don't know, and I can't say this. This is what people don't know about Dot. Dot takes his personal relationships very seriously. That's why there aren't a lot of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I know maybe 6 people with his number. 7.
Is Problem one of them? He said he spoke to him.
I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, he takes his relationships very personal.
Yep.
And you know what I mean? And it's not no industry shit with us. Like, I've known all of these people for 20 years. These are my homies. It's not like, so I'm very biased and it's very personal, right? Mm-hmm. I'm still able to speak with nuance though, and it's not that. The other part that people are overlooking is the fact that your boy goes to the internet and does the antics. And that's not something that you win a hip-hop battle by doing. That's how he won the last battle, but I don't want to speak on that because I don't have nothing to do with it. But
you're talking about Meek Mill with the memes and
that's not how you're going to win this. You can't joke and meme your way out of this. And that's why I'm telling you, he doesn't have the wherewithal to understand that this ain't that.
So I think where I would argue that he has the wherewithal, but that no matter what it was going to come to this, is I think he knew that Kendrick was going to go where he was going to go eventually on record. And he knew that Kendrick was going to reply at some point, even if it took him a long time to do it, relatively speaking. And so he did the AI song, in my opinion, to be up a little bit. He did the antics to be up in public opinion. Like, oh, I dropped push-ups. I'm going to drop another one and taunt you a little bit. I'm going to use all these antics so that you think when Kendrick goes into the next verse with Euphoria, I'm up a little bit. So maybe it's 2-0. Maybe it's 2-1. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's 1-0. But I'm up to the point where Kendrick's still just going up a little more or tying me. I think he felt it.
He posted a picture of Ant, bro. Ant don't have nothing to do. Ant is literally one of the best.
Shout out to you. Talking about Anthony Soleil.
That's my bro. Like,
incredible brother. Nas's manager, used to manage Future, for people that may not know.
So he posted a picture of Ant. That's corny. Ant literally has nothing to do with anything. And he's a great guy.
Mm-hmm. Keeps it low key.
He doesn't tweet like that. He tweets about the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't post. He mind his business. That was corny. To me, that was lame. He addressed it in the record. You heard him say it, right?
Yeah. And he mentioned it on Taylor May. He said, you, Ant, and Taylor are cooking something up or something like that.
So those are antics. That's not hip-hop battling. That's not a rap beef. That's, you and your mans getting, URL shit. You and your mans, blah, blah, blah. That's that
well,
shit.
I think Drake's caught up in, again, guess we get back to the bigger theme of that idea, like, even though obviously Kendrick is his own man and they have their own history, it is a 20-verse one in a lot of ways. If so many people Future and Metro have built this platform that a lot of records and things went against him. And it's like, even in the responses, he mentions Anthony again in the family song. It's like, I don't think he can process and just center it on Kendrick, because I feel like he feels like the entire industry, which is like back in the day when he did the 30 for 30, that the whole industry is against him. That we're tired of you being the top guy in the business, all your stats, all your success. We're tired of you running this thing, and it's time to get you out of position.
Why was now the perfect time for that, though? Like, was there something that happened or something we don't know you guys think that, like, everyone felt so comfortable to diss Drake? Because if you look back even 3 or 4 years ago, I don't think we would see The Weeknd, Rocky, Travis, Ross, all these guys so comfortably throwing shots.
What happens when you have you ever been out on a boat and chummed the waters?
As in, like, have I dived off a boat?
No, chumming the waters is a term when you take fish, blood, whatever, and you put it in the water, and you.
Oh, my answer would be no then.
Yeah, so when there's blood in the water, it attracts the sharks. And I think that when you see somebody you see somebody on like taking the blows, it's like, oh, like, okay, now's the time. I think that people. That's not a secret, though. You got to think about it. Just like the climate that we're in when it comes to cancellations and all this stuff, right? One person says something about you, then another person feels more comfortable to say something than another person. And it's like, oh, all these people coming forward? Let me tell my story, too, because I felt like this and I didn't feel comfortable before. I don't think it's anything different than that.
So when you look at it like that, do you think Kendrick does that guest verse? I mean, it's a great. Obviously, he hears that track. That's an amazing track. Like I think that record's a classic record, regardless of the beef. Right? It's an amazing record. Future Metro, featuring Kendrick Lamar. When Kendrick is invited to do a guest feature on that, does he kind of know that the whole thing is "We Don't Trust You" and maybe there's another song where somebody else is kind of taking shots at Drake, or it seems like the whole premise of the album, the foundation.
The elimination of Drake.
Is the elimination of Drake. Like this, and why? Like that surprised a lot of people, right? Head. Like, why would Kendrick want to be part of something that seems like
What are you
it's
talking
part
about?
of the takedown of Drake?
Elliott.
No.
I think it's valid because wouldn't Kendrick want to stand on his own too and not?
What are
be a
y'all
part
talking
of-
about? Everybody else stapled their homework to dots. It ain't the other way around. Don't get that misconstrued.
Wait, say it again. Everybody did what?
Everybody stapled their homework to dots.
He set the premise.
And they piled on.
Yeah, what are you
Did
talking
he
about?
tell them in the album "We Don't Trust You" and in parentheses Drake?
No, I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying the like that was a light pack. Boom, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you gonna say something now? You didn't say nothing BET. You didn't say nothing this. You didn't say nothing for that. You didn't say nothing. It'd be like little subliminals and whatnot. Cool, just like we talked about before, right? But he said something, and now it is what it is. But don't do that. Don't say that. Well, Dot is out here jumping on the bandwagon of the fuck Drake train.
No, I
that's
say jump
crazy.
No, I'm not saying necessarily jumping on a bandwagon, but I thought he would be not pleased to know that there's other things. Seems like the whole premise is to take down Drake. Like Kanye saying that and those type of energy, it's like I don't think Kendrick wants to be part of that. So I was interesting that he chose to air out him and Cole on that platform.
Yeah, I don't think he liked that.
He could have made his own record and did something. Why do you think he did that? Why did he go on their album?
What universal accord do you think Ye is on? You think he in the group chat with everybody?
Well, no. But
He
even
got kicked out the group
even
chat.
without Ye made it a 21
been kicked out the
v1.
group chat. He been kicked
Ye
out.
didn't make it nothing.
But before
What are you
that,
talking about,
no.
bro?
To be fair though, before that, it was a lot of artists on that specific album or two projects who were all
The
together.
premise,
I don't think
we don't trust you. Who don't we trust?
Yeah,
Who?
it's him.
Who's
And
the you?
And I don't
The
think
you is
Kendrick would
Drake.
want that. You're right.
Why does Kendrick want to be on the "We Don't Trust You" album? We Don't Trust Drake album. Why is that the platform? To me, it's because the record's so like that record's a great record, and the first person shooter's this big statement. This record's big enough to be a statement. Let me make my statement. But I don't think he loved then Volume 2 comes out and then Weekend's airing Drake out.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
just
think he liked that.
Then you could be looked at as you're part of some type of movement that's trying to take Drake down. Not
Elliott.
just you being the best.
Elliot, you've been doing this too long.
So I should retire is what you say.
That's on you.
Give it to academics.
That's on you. That's on you. That's
See
not.
if he's the intern.
That's on you. Maybe you and the boy can go work for him. But what I'm saying is, you've been doing.
Don't I
this-
have beef with the boy? Hello, I went to Rolling Loud. The boy aired me out on the internet. Does anyone remember this?
You do have a little bit of beef with.
The boy
What
doesn't
did he say?
necessarily love Elliott right now. I don't know where we stand. Sixth God is the sixth God. I don't know.
But you got the cape on.
I'm repping a time in hip hop history. The last time people viewed Drake not getting the victory in a battle, which was the Scorpion era. with him
So
and Pusha
you're
T.
saying that if I come on this platform, let's say we come on here on next week, and I come on this platform and I wear what Nat Turner wore during the revolt,
Are you going to Nat Turner?
I'm channeling that energy of when we got freed and revolted. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You're wearing a West Coast hoodie. I'm trying to just.
I wear this
counter-
every day.
We represent the culture.
This is like the West Coast mix-up last time. You just said it all the time.
I'm from New York. I got to kind of rep my Toronto brother.
That's
I'm
not
on
the
east
same.
side of the
Elliot,
globe.
don't do that.
We're on the east side of the globe. You know.
So okay, wait. What you just said though, before we get into coastal beefs,
You're still not answering. Do you think so? It doesn't. Why is Kendrick on that record? Why did Kendrick agree to do that record?
I
we
can't
think?
speak for him.
Yeah. Okay, so the first time you hear that record, what do you think?
I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing, but people are on the dot on Kendrick on that record, but Metro.
Why does Metro have a problem with Drake?
The din-in-it was maybe the hardest shots of this entire.
The beat is
battle.
crazy.
No, it's a classic. It's amazing.
It's
Metro is the best producer in hip hop today. I love Hit Boy. I love everybody, but Is that a problem? Me saying
Most
that?
impactful, you could say at the very
Why
least.
can't I just
right
say he's the best? Why can't we say who's the best? Who's the best MC?
The UNO.
Metro Boomin is UNO, but we've never. And also, I think that's like we've seen the eras where all these rappers going at Jay-Z. What are you doing, Eddie?
I'm listening. I'm just
All these
listening.
rappers going at Jay-Z, Ja Rule. The difference is that Metro is such an amazing producer. It's like, oh, now we have the producer beefing to get this guy. He's gonna give me a great beat to air my grievances out. We never had that. Like this guy's providing a platform. Like he gives you a canvas.
He's the dam for
A
the water to
canvas for you
flow.
to put your foot in Drake's booty. Like pause. Like he's creating these musical landscapes for you to air your grievances. The Weeknd came with that. That's one of the hard. The Weeknd one where he just sings the thing and even Drake references.
Yeah.
I know that hurt because you think about that. Like the controversy, was he going to sign OVO, XO, all that? Like he's airing them out and with the melodies and stuff. Obviously, he's super close to Metro Boomin. It's like Metro Boomin. It could seem like Metro Boomin created this Avengers against the elimination of Drake. Even though we know my
Stop
man is
using
cuckoo
that
for Cocoa
verbiage,
Puffs.
though. Like, why are
I know
you-
my man is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and he's kicked out of the group chat. I
Why are you
understand that.
using Ye as an anchor
I'm
point?
not using him. I'm saying
for
my perspective. I think there is some truth of that. I think he's as a fan. He has almost like a fan-like view of it. Ye being an outsider now, that it looks like, oh shit, like you said, blood in the water. Jump in, like get your shit off.
Yeah, but using that specific verbiage is insane to me.
It's a hilarious.
It's
term,
great
though.
verbiage.
It was great.
If I'm Drake, I'm calling my album the elimination of Drake.
Yeah,
that's my next
eliminated
album.
is the new.
That's amazing. He blessed him. That's an alley oop. I would run with that.
Yeah, but to use that as an anchor point for your argument is insane.
Is Drake do you feel Kendrick has any issue with Drake's success? And because the people, I think that's a big question. People seem to feel like Kendrick makes it clear in his words that he isn't jealous of Drake's success. Has his own success. He's his own man. He's successful, super successful in his own right. But the viciousness of a lot of things makes it feel like, does this guy truly not like Drake? Does he hate Drake? Is there a real personal venom towards this man?
I don't know.
What do you feel?
Oh, you're asking me about my opinion?
Your
Okay.
opinion.
So my opinion is,
Your opinion.
I don't think that it's that. I think
Like, is it beyond competitive nature?
I think it's competitive nature, but I also think it's a little bit beyond that when it comes to what you represent. Like what you represent is not what I thought it was.
There is that clear narrative in the battle that's been going on where Kendrick kind of keeps going back and forth towards the good versus evil, the God versus, the other side. He kind of does mention, he has biblical references, angel references.
Unpack that.
Yeah,
Right, Jeremy. You unpack the Easter eggs, baby.
He's talking about Raphael and the archangels and protection, and he's talking about what Drake might have done to get success. He does say things where he's like, I don't want to be famous. You wanted the fame. You wanted that level of success. It seems like Kendrick, this is from a fan. I don't know either of these guys. I've never spoken to either of them. It seems like Kendrick's comfortable going back home, turning his phone off, working on the next song, and putting it out. I think he's paying attention. I don't think, like you said, I don't think he's disillusioned to what's going on. But I think he's comfortable in his spot. But what he doesn't like is what you were talking about, when Drake suns him a little bit. When Drake says, we're not on the same level. And I think what Kendrick's trying to do here is saying, not only am I on the same level as you, but the way I did it is the same level. The good side is the same level.
I did it the right way.
Keeping my integrity.
He did it the right way.
Yeah, I think that's what his point is.
I agree with Jeremy's sentiment.
West Coast.
Okay, do you guys think, though, is there a way, so to your point of Scorpion, right, when Drake backed out of that battle.
Yeah, he pivoted.
He pivoted.
He did the pop star pivot.
Yeah. So
by the summer where Kiki, Do You Love Me, and we forget that he lost a battle to Pusha T, or at least a lot of America does. Hip hop circles.
Yeah.
We're mad that he didn't
know.
respond, the whole thing.
But is that something that right now, let's go with both options and what you guys think of happens after both options. Option A, Drake doesn't reply right now, and either Kendrick continues to go in
How
his
many
head,
songs does Kendrick get off before?
or he doesn't reply, whatever. What happens with that, and what happens if Drake replies? Is there even a scenario where he, quote unquote, wins this battle in the eyes of all of hip hop?
It still comes down. What I do love about hip hop is I think even beyond all of whether he has a daughter, all the sort of shade room theatrics, it's still the music. Like that is undeniable, and I think that's part of why I think Drake. We started with the premise of you said very tellingly, Drake has to step out like people have to step out to really make this moment happen. And Like That was such a great record, it forced that, right? Like Drake respects that. It's a hit record, and this guy's firing at me. So it sets up this finally happening and having that impact. I think if Drake makes better records, then the tide will turn. Right now, Kendrick is outmaneuvering, outclassing, outsmarting him, and beating him at his own game.
That's another word
Time
you missed.
stamp.
That's another word you missed.
Okay.
Starts with an R.
What's that?
It sounds like apping. Out-rapping. Out-rapping.
Yeah, because Drake has yet to rap fully.
I just want that included.
Rap with his chest against Kendrick.
I just want that
in a real
included
way.
in the minutes.
We've heard it. We've heard him tear down. We've heard him tear down. Like he's not even like way over with two birds, one stone when he went at Kid Cudi. We're not even getting that from him. He's never gone at Kendrick. He's still going at Kendrick in a very playful way. He's not going at him in a way of like I view you as this guy I got to take out. And maybe that's going to change. It has to change if we want for hip hop. If we want some better, so whoever makes the better records at the end of the day is going to win. But I think at this point, we're forever going to go. Even when the battle slows down, we're still going to get subliminals. It's going to forever be like there's no
honestly
kumbaya moment.
Yeah, do we see them on a stage somewhere doing a song together?
You're the best. Not doing the Drake. You're the best.
Yeah. The Cole and Drake.
Hey, you're the best. No coast.
The Big 3 tour.
I had talked to Top Dog, and I told him I felt bad for him. I felt bad for the boy.
Oh, you felt bad for Drake?
I feel bad for him because I just, he doesn't understand. For instance, I'll give you an example. You know how and I was having this conversation completely separate from that conversation, but you know how people be like, well, at least he got the fight. At least he went out there and took the fight. Somebody outside right now, they want to fight Jeremy, right? Jeremy's like,
what did I do? What do you say fuck me for?
Jeremy's like, what do you say fuck me for? Well, I don't know. Let's take a wild guess. But, all right. So, what did I do? It's crazy. I had that same disillusion, too. Silas had to tell me. But imagine somebody outside want to fight you. And they're like, it's like Mike Tyson. And he has a real problem with you.
Oh, boy.
We're going to give you credit, man. At least Jeremy went out there to fight. We're only giving you that credit because we had doubts on your ability in the first place. That's the only reason why you allow that credit to people in that capacity. Other than that, you wouldn't have it in reverse. If Jeremy's outside and Mike is in here, and Jeremy's like, come outside, Mike, we ain't going to be like, well, shit, at least Mike went outside to fight Jeremy. You don't think that way because you look at Mike as having the advantage, correct? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense.
So when people are like, well, at least he did that. Whenever you start with the at least he, that means you already had doubt on the person's ability to begin with.
But also Kendrick's playing to the idea that the culture wants him to win. He's
Do they
more
not?
of the culture, right? Yes. I think the argument
Is he not more cultured?
In the ways that could appear to be hip hop. I'd argue that
Let me ask a person without the scorpion jacket on.
I'll take it off.
I think
I like the Jay-Z over the Nas in the sense of like the person that assembles, like takes the leadership role. I love that Drake has had, the reason Drake has had this run of success is because he actively wants to be viewed as the top guy at all times. Kendrick doesn't want that. Kendrick knows he's the top guy in his mind, and he's going to either pop out, as he's showing now, very aggressively every single day, or he's going to go away 5 years again and come back and give us another masterwork and still feel he's number one. That, to me, is the Nas hybrid. But Drake yearns to have that feeling that he's outside, he's that guy. He's the bar. He's active. He always has a song out. He always has a feature out. He always has something going. As you said, he has to shut down features that he has because it doesn't fit the timing.
Justice for Camilla.
Yeah, Justice for Camilla. We can explain that real quick. Camilla has a guest feature from Drake. Camilla, what's her last name?
Cabello?
Yeah.
The
pop star of things.
Justice for Camilla.
Wait, Drake has a feature with Camila Cabello?
Justice for Camilla. Let that record.
Drake has allegedly Drake has a feature with her, and what happens with artists is that they have to get final clearance for records.
Oh, and they're trying to get it out right now.
No, that's a good point too. The whole industry is in shambles because of Drake and Kendrick's battle, and the output of these records. Right?
Let that young lady cook, King.
It's so crazy but here's so crazy about that too. Not to be all over the place. the volume of records coming out, we're now left the narrative, and we don't know what's going to happen after this taping. This taping is now on Sunday. So we came from Meet the Grams to Like Us, right?
Yeah, Not Like Us.
Mustard, Not Like Us. Not Like Us. Mustard record. Euphoria is battling, what's my man, $1 Million Baby Kid for number one song this Monday. So Kendrick could have the number one song, Euphoria, which was the first diss he did directly, while we view him as winning a rap battle because of this song he has with the 1-2 punch of the Meet the Grams and the song he has with Mustard. That's how fast this thing is moving.
I want to point something out. You brought up the word culture, and I want to go back to that.
Kendrick brings that word up a lot. Even the heart before Mr. Morale that he put out was all about that, the culture. Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So when it comes to culture, right, culture encompasses a lot of things. And not to say that the boy doesn't have cultural prowess, right? That's not what I'm saying. He doesn't have more, or it's not more potent than what Dot has. And it's literally an impossibility. And that's why you heard him say in the record, you go south, you come to America to get the culture, right? Jeremy's here. So
now, first of all, I do want to say, I think the conversation about culture is one, especially being a white Canadian in hip hop. I might set that one up. I might let you guys.
You know what? And you know what? That's why I fuck with you.
I think I'm out of that one.
That's why I fuck with you,
cool.
That's why I fuck with you.
But my thing is, can a light-skinned brother from New York City live out here? I don't like all this about you can't say the N-word. I called myself the N-word. I was YN.
Listen.
I couldn't have been YN in this era. I couldn't have been yellow nigga that runs XXL. And I don't say the ER. You said nigga that, like, it's all day. Like,
listen to what I'm saying, though. When it comes to culture, you cannot out-culture him on any level because you don't exist in the spaces to do that, right? When it comes to, I'm trying to be respectful. When it comes to, sorry, because I don't want to, like people think it's about.
I don't think he's trying to out-culture him,
let me explain this. Mm-hmm. When it comes to the whole narrative of racism, right? He's racist. He's painting a racist narrative. He's not attacking the boy's race or his mom being white or none of that. He's attacking his culture. And I'm gonna give you an example from my own lens. I'm not speaking for Dot. From my own lens as why he lacks that culture. Because when someone gives you the line, Jeremy just displayed it beautifully right now. There's a line presented. Jeremy's like, you know what? I identify that line and I'm not fucking with it, right? When someone gives you a line and you like, well, that means you lack cultural awareness and you don't have the wherewithal to understand the difference that this is a serious matter and this is just rap. Some things are not just rap. Some things are not hip hop. Some things are very personal, and when you lack cultural awareness, that then allows you to violate those things. I don't have to tell you, if we go somewhere right now, I can take you to my side of town. I don't have to tell you anything. You know how to conduct yourself. You know why? Because you have culture. Because you've been around, you know how to maneuver in certain spaces without being told. That stuff is not the same thing as hip hop. That's not the same thing as rap. That's culture. It's different. It's seasoning.
But what moves do you think he made that shows he's not equipped with that, or he doesn't know the difference?
I told you. Made it personal about certain things.
But isn't that just a rap battle, especially in this age of salaciousness?
That's the thought process that lacks the nuance of culture.
But Kendrick's playing that game too. He's talking about people are pedophiles and playing into a lot of things too. But then why is it right that he's doing it? Because the person who violated culture did it first?
You know how the streets work. You come get one of mine, I'm going to go get two of yours.
Is there, because there was the conversation that maybe they did have a back and forth beforehand, and I don't know this to be true, but the rumor is that they, which is why I'm asking. The rumor was that they had a conversation beforehand and said, we're not going to make it personal, we're not going to go there. And then if that was the conversation and that was violated by bringing family into it, then I could see the other side being like, well, all bets are off. Do you know any truth to that matter? Of a conversation?
Kendrick has said more personal, salacious stuff in his battle towards Drake than Drake has toward Kendrick. Huh?
When? You're a timestamp.
After you're saying that Drake did it first.
You're a timestamp person. When?
So I slap you once, you can slap me 25, 30 times.
No, if you slap me, the homies are going to pack you out. That's where we come from. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. When you understand the culture, I came up under a lot of street dudes, cultural leaders. Right?
Salute to those gentlemen.
I came up under a lot of cultural leaders, right? A lot of community activists. Right?
Very active activists.
Community activists, right? And where we're from, they told me, and you can ask any person. Don't have to even tell me who you ask. If they know me and they know how we get down out here, I've always been told that there are no fair ones.
Wow.
That's what I've always.
See, that lands with me because I'm from New York, where that's the ultimate thing. You look at the culture, even in general, taking you out of that. Like in New York, you can't really have guns, right? You seen Jarret went to jail with a gun. Lil Wayne with a gun. We don't have guns in New York. If you have a gun, you hide, and it's a secret to have a gun. So you have fighting, especially when I grew up in the 70s. I grew up in 1971. I was born in 1971. You shoot the fair way. That's the ultimate thing. If a graffiti writer wrote over somebody's thing, I'm calling you out. We're going to shoot the fair one. That's the culture of New York.
And Los Angeles specifically, I'm not speaking for the entire West Coast. Also, to be clear, I'm in this camera. To be clear, the West Coast is not just California or Los Angeles. I'm inclusive of everything. That's how I get out. Anyway.
100%. No, when you go up in New York, you think California is just like Hollywood and this thing.
No.
Meanwhile, it's a huge ass country. You have your own country.
The people's perception of 30 Mile Zone is crazy. But listen, what I'm saying is where we're from, that's not the case. The ultimate test of manhood is to run. Yes, you can catch a difference between, and this is also stuff that you've heard in the music. A friendly is not the same thing. When you catch a friendly, you don't get maxed out. You don't get packed out. I'm using terms that probably people from where you from ain't gonna understand. But when you shoot, how do you say friendly fade? When you shoot when me and you have a disagreement, but we're homies, that's a friendly. We fight.
Piece it up after.
And we piece it up after, right? That's a friendly. When it's not a friendly, and you from across the tracks, that's not a friendly fade. There ain't no fair ones. Where we from, that's not how it works. You would know that if you were authentically a part of the culture.
Do you think that Drake and Kendrick could have had a friendly fade?
I'm not here to say that or not, but I'm sure that if I can speak that if he was up for it, it would have been an option.
This is interesting, though. So we talk about the friendly, keeping it rap, the respect level here. If you look at the timeline of things, I found it interesting looking at it and how it went. So we look at first, like that, and first-person shooter, very friendly, right? Push-ups, we had a family mention. The AI song, not super personal, but on Euphoria is where I thought it was interesting. Because on Euphoria, I was like, oh, shoot, he made the same mistake he did with Pusha. He mentioned the wife's name or the fiance's name. Is he going to get the same reply? But on Euphoria, he kept it friendly. And he gave him another warning and said, we can keep it friendly here, and we can keep it just rap. I found that interesting that he said that on Euphoria rather than coming for a headshot, but I kept saying this is a warning shot.
Your timestamp, Drake, over there. What are the timestamps? Jeremy just told you. I'm trying to explain to you where we are now is not where we had to be. This is not where we had to be. Meet the Grams is very, very dark. It's disturbingly dark.
Yes.
Felt like watching a horror film.
It's disturbingly dark to me. And these are my friends, my homies, right? It's disturbing. Right? And then there's artwork that exists in the ether right now in this simulation. If you go on Tidal, there's artwork.
Tidal for life, y'all. Tidal for life.
If you go on Tidal, there's an artwork and there's a home with these dots on it. That's crazy.
No, that's the mustard one. That's the mustard joint. That's not Meet the Grams.
And what I'm trying to explain to you is whenever you shoot the friendly, you don't get stomped out. What you're witnessing right now is someone getting packed out.
But to be fair, and I think where it's interesting is we talk about calculation, we talk about playing chess. Both of these dudes were playing chess, and I think, yes, Kendrick said, let's keep it friendly. I won't go there if you don't go there. But I think he knew he would go there, and I think he had this all planned out and all baited and said, the minute Drake goes there, which he did, 10 minutes later, I'm dropping.
20.
20 minutes.
You know why?
Why, DJ Head? Why? Why?
Because your boy lacks the wherewithal to understand the bigger picture.
Name of the show.
West Coast.
Final thoughts, gentlemen? What time's the next record coming out, Head?
Yo no sé, no hablo
What time is it right now so we know for the record? Sunday?
No hablo inglés, pero creo que...
PT time. Pacific
okay,
time.
It is currently
me
3:13.
gusta-
It is Sunday.
3:13
Me
PST.
gusta comida.
It is Sunday, 3:13 p.m. There's already been hints that another record from Kendrick is coming.
From who?
Maybe you, maybe your account, I believe. I saw you reference Monday. You said I'm not going to be happy anymore starting Monday.
I
What
didn't
does
say
that
that.
mean?
Quote me directly. Don't
Can we
paraphrase
please,
my
let's
shit.
go to Head's Twitter account. DJ Head's latest tweets. I must see immediately, please.
And then Problem also did say he's not letting up from what he heard from Kendrick. That was after the record, right?
At this point, do we all think it's fair to say that people view Kendrick as the victor of the battle, as it stands right now? The clear victor, not...
What do you think?
I believe right now he's the clear victor. I felt it was very Hagler-Hearns in the beginning, and it could go either way.
You want me to
Split
get you a
decision
new
card.
jacket?
Huh?
You want me to get you a new jacket?
You got a damn jacket or something like that?
You want me to get you one?
Yeah, all right. I'm the West. Y'all should welcome me. I'm in your coast. I'm doing right. Was that it? No. Authentic? No, here we go. You took it down? You took it down, son.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Until the next one.
You took it down. You had something about Monday. You took it down.
No, you have to keep scrolling.
Go up, go up, go up. No?
I was kind of active this morning.
Twitter fingers, man. It's being Twitter fingers part
Oh,
of
here
the
we
culture?
go. I've been
nice.
That
I've
ends.
been nice. That ends Monday. West Coast.
He might just really like the start of the work week. You know? He's just really excited for
Money
Monday.
Mondays. Everybody gets back to it.
Also, we're getting Sunday off. We can get this content out before without another no spoiler alert. I can get this content up on the internet.
I have no idea, but I would just like I said, bro. I'll close with these things. I'll say this. Number one, leave them alone. Go make your bops. Justice for Camilla. Go make your jams. Do the accent. We like that shit. I'ma play it.
Yeah.
I'ma play it. I play all of the records. I play all of them. He got bops, right? And also, just remember this is what people wanted.
No,
people wanted Dot to participate. He's participating.
Well, let me now do the OG thing. Is the thing of like I was there when people die and lose their lives. We say things can be friendly, then they get escalated. People have entourages. Everybody has thorough people on their side. Is there any fear that it goes to a personal level?
It's already personal.
But so then there's a fear that we could love the music, but this is not good in the sense of if somebody eventually loses their life and things of those nature. Like
I don't necessarily.
Is there concern?
Like I
things
told,
can get violent. Things can get dark.
Like I told Jeremy on the red carpet, it would have to come from him first, like it has always.
Because there's a certain honor you feel because of the culture and the ethos of the West Coast. And
no, it's not about the West Coast. It's really about, honestly, it's about just principle. He's a habitual line stepper. You like how
There's a callback.
this guy's good.
He's a habitual line stepper because he lacks cultural awareness and the wherewithal to understand what's actually a thing and what's not. And so he would have to cross a line before a line gets crossed on him. At this point, though, when it comes to rap, hip-hop battle, that line's been crossed and it's up.
So then get back to the music and let's have fun with it. Would you like to see, because I'm sure you feel Kendrick also is in the lead right now, would you like to see Drake come back with quality records and for this battle to continue musically?
I want Drake, I said this, I don't remember where I put it online, but I want him to just go make bops. I keep saying that. Just go make the jams, bro.
So end this back and forth.
Don't
do the Scorpion. It's time to pivot
Just go make songs. Just go over there and do the charts, and we're going to play it on the radio and like all that. Do that.
So then
when you do this, this is not good for you.
I think I would. I'm a huge Drake fan musically. I would obviously.
You don't have a jacket though.
I don't have the jacket. I'm
He not on the
Canadian. I didn't get sent one. If I got sent one, I would wear it.
Pull up when Drake dissed me.
We know, Elliott. We know.
So then
He knows who you are. He diss you. He don't fuck with you, and but
then how am I still on the payroll? I don't understand how that works.
It's residuals. He gets like the royalty
Do I have
payments.
stocks? I have OVO stocks.
You tell me.
I gotta talk to my accountant. I have OVO stocks.
But I don't think for Drake's sake, I think there's a lot more to lose by him replying than there is to gain. Because I think the OVO stands, we see it in the meme pages. They already think Drake is still up There's a group of the internet that still thinks Drake is winning and will
Even with
always
this mustard
think,
record, this
even with
mustard
this
bop.
record, they say it with tears in their eyes, but they do still think it. So I don't think he's gonna win over a new crowd without losing more to his career and his personal image if he does reply, because like you said, Kendrick is taking this seriously, and I don't think he stops. So personally, I think this was one of the greatest rap
It's gonna be the
moments of
greatest.
all
Is this
time,
gonna be
no
the
matter
greatest
what.
rap battle of all time if it isn't already? I feel it is. I mean, it's Jay and Nas in the modern era, which is different now. So
It's different. It's bigger than that.
so it's the biggest ever in hip hop.
This is different, and it's not over.
Can Kendrick fumble it? Can he blow the 3-1 lead? Can he, if he keeps putting records out,
He does the Joe
and they're
Budden?
not slappers, like he puts a record out, that was not that good. Then he puts another one, that's not that good. Like, can Kendrick fumble it? Can he lose it just on a musical level? Can he make a misstep by continually seeming to be the aggressor in this conflict?
48 Laws of Power say when your enemy is already beaten, I don't know the exact terminology, when your enemy is already beaten, the more you stomp, you look like the weaker one and people start to turn on you. So I personally think right now, Kendrick said, here's where I'm going with it. Here's where it could. The rabbit hole could get deeper. I could go there, but I won't go there if you don't go any. He gave him another warning. If you go any further, it's all going left. I think right now, Kendrick should stop for public perception purposes. I don't think he necessarily gains anything by putting out another song. I think Drake loses more. I think Drake could lose more. Now, would I turn to, if Kendrick drops in, am I going to run to my computer and do another 10-minute breakdown? Of course. I'm going to be excited.
It'll be 17 minutes, Joe.
17 minutes. But
Those
I
are
don't
hard
know
to
that it's
load.
necessary.
Oh yeah, LOL, man shits on not coming to this platform for a second time, and now Elliott 10 toes doing Just Jules run-up interviews. Oh, I can't read it, it's too painful for me. But yeah, I'm still on the payroll though. What do you think about that, Head, about the point of Kendrick it might not be the right move for Kendrick to why? So I guess the line's been crossed, right? As you said, you've explained why, but is it wrong for Kendrick to continue to act as this aggressor and drop these records? Has he already won and should know to walk away musically?
Well, me personally, and I've only been hunting a couple times, but I don't stop until the food stop moving.
That means no Instagram antics. That means no tweets. That means no poking the bear.
That just means that I didn't when I went hunting, I didn't stop until what I was going to consume no longer was animated.
But you know the thing about Family Matters, though, Drake hints that he presented it as if it's going to be his kill shot with the Denzel thing. He talks about going on vacation.
He said he was going on vacay after that.
Like, why? That angered me. It's like, you just picked this guy to do a battle. Like, why are you going on vacation? Like, I don't understand why you would go on vacation.
We it would be
called him out for a battle, and like now we're booking flights. We're going away.
We talked about this before. It would be a stressful vacation. Drake would be in Turks, checking his phone often. I don't think he would be enjoying the gambling.
Wi-Fi at the hotel and Kendrick keeps putting records out. Yes,
the
Ed, I'm
steak
sorry.
would be a little. He'd be betting $1 million with Aiden Ross and be sweating a little.
Hip hop. Yes, sir. Sorry, Ed.
Elliott.
Yes, sir.
Bro, what would you suggest?
Here's what I want. I'll give you my ending. I want Drake to come back, finally with the AM PM type barring up Kendrick with less of the no salacious shit.
Keep it rap.
Of why he's the better MC. It's old school shit. He's the better MC, and Kendrick to do the same.
And then what?
And then the musically it stops.
And then he can go on vacation?
Then he can go on vacation. Yes, and he can make.
So you want one more, and then he can go on vacation?
I want one more from Drake and one more for Kendrick. I don't want Kendrick. I want to end with the mustard joint for now. I don't want Kendrick to put another record out till Drake responds.
Do you see the bias?
I want Drake to do.
Hold on. Why can't Drake go on vacation right now?
Because he called Kendrick out. Finally give him the battle that he felt.
And you want another record, right?
I want one record that Drake seriously.
Why?
Goes at because he hasn't yet. My earlier theory. He doesn't view him as like somebody.
I'm gonna tell you something. And I'm not. I shouldn't say this. I'm not gonna say who it was. Put it that way. Mm-hmm. One of my big homies a while ago brought some music to me. He was like, "You got to check this out. This dude is dope." And I'm listening to it, and it's lyrically terrible. It's horrendously terrible music, lyrically, right? And I was trying to make sense of it, and he said, but it was a dope song, right? But you know, we have dope songs that terribly lyrically. And he said this to me, stays with me to this day. And he said, see, you're looking at it through the wrong lens. He said, in his mind, he's bussing. He getting this off. Like, this is top tier lyricism in his brain.
Of course.
How do you know that that's not the case with your boy?
Because every diss record he's done so far is involved. He talks about Metro and all the other people against him. We haven't heard one record centered on Kendrick with a 16 that's just solely on him. Like, it hasn't come out yet.
And I think to defend Drake on that aspect, I do think he thinks it matches both those points. He thinks that he's lyrically doing something with these songs.
Correct.
But I don't think he
I agree
thinks
with that.
that it's his top tier flow that matches on a rap level what Kendrick is doing. But I think he could do that if he keeps it rap, and I would love to see that. But we've already crossed these lines. If he just keeps it rap, is Kendrick just going to keep it rap? Or has the line been crossed?
Not to be the kumbaya guy, but yeah, I want them both to take it back to rap, bar each other up, and then put a nice little ending to this great battle, the greatest battle in hip-hop history.
Okay, so this is what we'll do then. I will lobby for that.
Thank you, Ed.
I will lobby for that. If you make up with academics.
I'm good with academics. What are you talking about?
Make up with Drake and academics, and I'll lobby for that.
Are you good with academics?
I don't have a problem with him. He was very respectful when he spoke on me. So I'll keep it respectful.
Okay. So I think you're good with academics.
I'm good with academics.
I want you to make up with Drake. And
I'm trying. He's a difficult man to make up with.
When you do that, I'll lobby for peace.
I don't want to control the narrative, man. I love it. I appreciate it, man.
When you do that, I'll lobby for on my side. West Coast?
I'm in the West Coast also, my friend.
No, that was like, okay.
Yes, West Coast.
That was the period.
West Coast.
And J. Cole, if you're watching this, I hope you're sleeping well.
Oh, J. Cole riding his bike.
I hope you are enjoying your bike ride.
J. Cole got the playlist with all these joints. He's bopping along to that, riding his bike.
He said, look at my boys go. They're really killing
Look at my boys go.
They're doing
And
their
you know
thing.
what? Let me say this publicly, too. Because when it was all going down and he put out that project, I was on one. And I went to Dreamville Fest and I hosted a panel with the PG Lane hoodie on. And given everything and how everything's transpired, my bad, bro. You know what I'm saying? I was just on I be on what I be on.
See, so you believe in the type of attire that's appropriate.
I'm consistent, though, Elliott. West Coast.
Well,
Thank you guys, man. The bigger picture, man. How do we feel? Good times?
Hey, I just want to say, I feel like I'm doing the Drake Cole thing on stage, but I just want to say I appreciate being in this conversation. You both are people I've looked up to for a long time, and I appreciate being in the conversation and being able to be a part of the moment. So,
yes, sir. Respect, man. More coming soon, man. The bigger picture, man. Elliott Wilson, Jeremy. And we got DJ Head is a busy man, but we definitely have to have him on the program again.
West Coast.
Yes, sir. Bigger picture.
all right.
What was that, an hour and a half?
Might have been 2.